Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to talk about how we helped this client go from getting a 0.41% reply rate on June 10th, 11th to 12th, and then turning that around June 25th, 26th, and 27th to a 3.34% reply rate. This customer is getting a 7.96% reply rate, and then this customer is getting a 3.7% reply rate. And now, for the people who are super in the weeds on this, this does include all messages. For some reason, Smartlead doesn't include the leads in there, so I couldn't get a clean screenshot of that. But because these campaigns have been ongoing, and I didn't want you to see the positive reply rate during the bad inbox periods versus now. But anyway, we've greatly improved the reply rate. And so in today's video, we're going to talk about the differences that we made in these campaigns. And only one of them has anything to do with infrastructure. And then every single other one has things to do with strategy. So I made a little presentation for this. If you don't know who I am, my name is Eric Nowoslawski. I run an agency where we generate anywhere from 200 to 300 positive responses per day on behalf of our customers. And it's hopefully going to be a lot higher now that we've locked in some of this new deliverability stuff that we're seeing with the spam filters in, the second quarter of 2026. I felt like there was a change. And so AI labeled this presentation deliverability as an arms race right now. But anyway, we are definitely seeing, for the moment of today, spam filters are getting a lot smarter. I used to think that there was no way that, well, for a couple of years, Google and Outlook wouldn't start using LLMs in their spam filters, and I think that time has come. I think there's evidence that they're using more LLMs in their spam filters, so they've gotten a lot smarter. It's easier for everyone to start sending more. Tools like Instantly and Smartlead are really popular, and the fact that you could just buy inboxes from any provider, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and get set up is really great. And then companies like the Blitz API, Quick Enrich, Lead Magic, and then soon MultSets by Adam Robinson, where people are giving away unlimited data for really, really, really cheap, is also going to keep making this way harder. So these are a lot of the things that are in the current environment that have changed. And here are the things that we've done about it. So if you followed my content at any point, what used to be about a year ago, not the biggest fan of Spintax. We were using so much AI in our messaging that I didn't think that Spintax really made a difference. And now we're seeing demonstrably Spintax absolutely is helping us last longer with inboxes and then also increase our reply rate. A couple of stories on how I know this to absolutely be the case. Some of our inboxes we were getting what's called the sender bounce in our campaigns, which means that the email that we were sending to was validated, but then Google wasn't even letting us send the email at all. It was a sender bounce. It wasn't letting it get sent whatsoever. And so in order to do this, we turned off the campaigns and we were like, okay, how do we have to fix this? And literally, when we saw a literal sender bounce rate of 40% on inboxes, all we did was Spintax the subject line and the unsubscribe language. And then we had a little bit of Spintax in the body already, but really what we call internally super Spintax, where we added 20 variations of Spintax into the subject line and the unsubscribe language. The sender bounces went away immediately. And so one of the biggest changes for sure is Spintaxing a lot more and just creating a lot more variation in our copy, focusing that super Spintax in your subject line and your unsubscribe language and your signature block. We're seeing the body is important, but we're putting like 3 or 4 variations of the overall email and then 3 or 4 variations every 5-ish words. We have Claude Skills that write all of this for us. And so, this has been really important. If I'm talking and you don't know what I mean by Spintax, it's basically, this is an example where in one email, you're going to send a quick question. And in the next email, you're going to say one idea for a company name. And then this will be a custom variable for every company. And then in one email, you'll say, hey. And then in the next email, you'll say hi. And you'll keep bouncing back and forth between them. Smartlead will just randomly pick the one. So every email that you send out has some uniqueness to it. This is becoming really important. We're also seeing campaigns that, and so I also put here, breaks the spam fingerprint. Another story to tell everybody is we're seeing some campaigns where they're winning and then we see the reply rates start to go down and then we swap out the inboxes, and then the reply rate doesn't go up. Our trump card for the longest time was as soon as we saw reply rates go down, all we would do is just change out the domains of the inboxes, and then the reply rates would just go back up and it would turn into a winning campaign again. Now, anytime we see that, we have to change the domain, the inboxes, and we switch up the copy. I literally have instances that I've posted on LinkedIn a couple of times where the literal only difference was rewriting the copy so it wasn't the same thing, and we would get like a 0.2% reply rate overall and then shoot up to like a 1.2% reply rate. So these things definitely matter a ton. The second thing that we're doing for all of our customers that we are now seeing the investment pay off for sure is, I've been saying for a while, if you follow me on LinkedIn and on this channel as well too in other videos, that whenever we work with a customer, we always want to buy enough inboxes for what we think they'll be sending every day, and then we want to buy extra on top of that. Now, that adds cost to the campaigns, right? You have to pay for the inboxes that are in campaigns right now, and then you have to pay for the ones that you aren't using, but you're just keeping kind of as an insurance policy. We've started to just buy domains early so that we don't buy a domain, immediately start warming it up, and then the domain is 2 weeks old when we start using it. When we start working with customers, we buy enough to have, we promise 5,000 up to 5,000 sends per day. And then we keep a 50% threshold of insurance inboxes in the back. We will keep 100% extra capacity of their domains right from the beginning as well too. And what then, instead of buying a domain, warming it up, and now the domain is just 2 weeks old, now we've bought a domain, and by the time we need it, we put an inbox on it 12 weeks into working with a customer. We start using it when it's 14 weeks old, and we're seeing for sure those domains are performing a lot better. And so not only are we buying insurance inboxes for ourselves that we're actively warming, but in order to keep our costs down on a month-to-month basis, we're also buying a lot more domains as well too. And so if you are a person who is just getting started in outbound, think about how many emails you want to be sending per day. And then I would essentially just multiply that number by 2, as long as you can afford paying for that many inboxes. So if you want to send 1,000 emails per day, I would buy 2,000 emails per day of capacity. Now, if you're crazy like I am, and whenever we do campaigns internally, we want to be sending like 15,000 emails per day, then sometimes the math doesn't always work out that you'd be able to fully keep a 1-to-1 ratio there. So then you'd want to keep 7,500 inboxes warming at all times and then just watch them, as it keeps going. But anyway, so first, spin taxing has just super spin taxing. I know if you're watching this, you might be thinking, wow, his tip was spin taxing. Great. Not just regular spin taxing. I'm talking about 20 variations in the copywriting. It's like super duper spin taxing. Then buying domains way earlier, which might not be groundbreaking for people, but if you've been on the cusp and you're not sure if just keeping a domain parked and not warming, does that have anything to do with a difference? We see it absolutely does. And then, of course, we're provisioning our inboxes at scale. I had AI help me with this presentation. The biggest thing is we're switching entirely to Gmail inboxes. So we'll buy Gmails from Zapmail and then Hypertide. From Zapmail, we've also purchased their Zap Shield product, which I've been extremely happy with, that puts our inboxes on a Google Cloud enterprise server instead of the regular servers. And we ran a split test against that, and it definitely made a difference. I know you're going to ask in the comments, how big of a difference did it make? Kind of depending on the campaign and how long they've been running. It was either a 20% difference all the way up to like a 50% difference. So if they were getting a 1% reply rate, the Zap Shield was getting us a 1.2% reply rate. And then if they were getting, or up to like a 1.5% reply rate. Hopefully I want to see these domains last longer though, is really what I want to be looking out for. The fourth tip, to give some credit where it's due as well, the spin taxing thing, the founder of Meldoso actually was the one who was teaching us about the super spin tax. And so I want to call out Nikita for that one. And then for the find the winners pile on, this is actually Felipe. He's got a YouTube channel as well we might link to. He was the one who told me about this, that he finds which domains are getting the highest reply rate. We are currently putting 2 Google inboxes on each of our domains. He finds if there's any outlier domains that are getting the best reply rate, he'll stack more inboxes on there and send more from that domain. So we would go from sending 2 inboxes to 5 now, and we'd put up to 5 inboxes on that domain. So we're sending more volume on one of those healthier domains. And so we started doing this after I had a conversation with Felipe. That's worked out really well. And I really like that one. If you've been following the channel for a little while, killing every week I pull a report of all of our inboxes, and anything with less than a 1% reply rate, we kill. That's just still in our system here. We kill about 10 to 15% of our overall infrastructure for all of our customers every week-ish. This week it was actually a little bit lower, I think because of ZapShield. But if you are running serious outbound campaigns and you're thinking, how do I manage this a little bit better? We literally have a database keeping track of every inbox that we're allowed to use because we call it active. And then there is insurance. So what are all the backup inboxes for all of our customers? And then when we pull the report and there's an inbox that's below a 1% reply rate, we move it to cancel, which then we schedule the deletion of that inbox, and then we rotate in one of the insurance inboxes that's ready. I've talked about this system before, highly recommend it. This is just, what we need to be seeing. And so I would say the point of this video is, we've seen demonstrably huge increases when we started doing this, switching 100% to Gmail inboxes right now, .com, .co domains, ZapShield. We're sending 30 emails per day per inbox on Gmail. The super spin tax, the unsubscribe spin tax, the signature spin tax. Another thing we learned from Felipe, I never even thought about doing, so I have to give him a shout out for this, is a lot of times we would do the signature and we'd spin tax the signature like first name, last name. And then the next one was first name, last initial. And the next one was first name. And then we had founder, co-founder, CEO, president, owner, job title kind of things. And then company, we just had different variations of the company. And then the location had spin tax in it too. He puts case studies in there where then instead of using a job title or using the company name, he'll put like spin taxes of experience. So I would say X Clay helped Clay 10x their revenue. I've run outbound campaigns for Intercom and HubSpot, or I don't know, anything. We generate 200 to 300 positive replies per day. I have one customer getting 80 positive replies per day just by themselves. Whatever it might be, you put in those social proof points and those case studies into your signature as another bite at the apple of that. I really like that. I wanted to share it. But I hope this is useful. The big deliverability update I have for everybody is more variance. Invest more in your infrastructure. Buy more inboxes ahead of time. Buy more domains ahead of time. Far more spin tax. Far more unsubscribe language. If you're new to the channel and you've never heard anything that I'm talking about here, there's another video about email deliverability that just goes over the baseline stuff. This is just more of an update for people who are already using this system. But yeah, I hope it's useful to anybody who's watching, and I appreciate you for taking the time. Thanks so much. I'll see you on the next video.